She'll have to wait and see. In the meantime, Cybercats, okay, picking up the Hoodwink. So another appearance for the Hoodwink in this one. And well, in any other circumstance, you look at a Sand King Hoodwink lane and you think that's a lane that has some aggressive potential. But against CK Bane, honestly, they might end up playing defensively before they get the chance to really be all that aggressive.
I would actually love them to play this lane aggressively. You know why? Because if you play on the defensive, you're just going to be pushed back, pushed back, pushed back. And at some point, you're going to be so weak that they're just going to crush you. So I would have wanted, I would want them to be a bit more aggressive, try to get level 2 first, maybe, and maybe even strike, you know, because if you're constantly moving in the back, there's going to come a point where the CK like hits level 3, you are half HP and you just die. But no, sorry, they pick up a Mirana. I love this. You already have a Bane in the CK, so you have 2 setups for the arrow. It wouldn't even surprise me if the Mirana maxes the arrow in this game. All of these heroes on the side of Cybercats, they die from a stun into an arrow, and now the Mars comes out last hero. You know, he says, I might have messed up in the first game, guys, but I'm gonna do a much better job now. So you have Mars to set up the arrow, Bane to set up the arrow, CK to set up the arrow. If no sorry, get like a mid laner, they can do it. The Emperor would be the best, but luckily for Cybercats, he is banned. And they pick up an Underlord. You know, usually an Underlord is good if you have a lineup that is kind of, we are gonna run it. You just constantly run it, you poke you, and then finish you off. No Sorry's lineup isn't like that. They jump in, they use a stun, and they use an arrow. But maybe this is just an approach to put the Sand King in the mid lane so that your offlaner can somewhat survive.
Yeah, and you did mention earlier, Igor, potentially sort of having that Sand King experience. However, if you do this as Cybercats, if you put the Underlord at the 3, the Sand King at the 2, now you are in a little bit of an awkward position because Nosari know exactly what their mid matchup is going to be and can sort of draft someone to potentially punish that. So you trade off one risk for another, I suppose, if you're Cybercats, but the Sand King mid might lose. Sand King against CK and Bane, I think you had a higher chance of him being.
True. True. Sand King in the mid lane, very rarely punished, you know, because the weakness of the Sand King is that he cannot run away. In the mid lane, you are kind of already in a defensive position with just 1 or 2 steps back. That's why people are playing in him in the mid lane. The Blink Dagger first item meta is up upon us, so you pretty much do the same thing as the offlane Sand King. You just get it a little bit earlier, and there's less potential for you getting crushed. So honestly, no sorry. I mean, it would be cool to see an OD here, but we're probably not gonna see it. I would love a setup for the arrow, because then if the Mirana is missing off the map, everyone is afraid. But if you don't get anything, you can actually stun the Sand King and set up for the arrow, then at least the Sand King, while the Mirana is missing, is somewhat safe, unless a stray arrow hits him.
Nosari, well, down a lot of those traditional sort of mid options that we've been seeing. That was kind of Cybercats' focus throughout Phase 2 and Phase 3 of the ban. So, see what they look for. So technically speaking, the OD is an option, but it does seem kind of unlikely at this point. But do you think at this point, Nosari might just go for more of a damage-oriented option at mid and just say the lockdown we have with the rest of the lineup is enough?
Yeah, for sure. I would like for them to have that hero that can finish people off, though. Okay, Pango with the diffusal blade. I'm guessing that's what he's gonna go for. Is actually a pretty solid one. Though this gives No Sorry an opportunity to change it up. If they see something that's actually gonna do well against the Mars, it might not do well against the Pango in the lane. So they still have that opportunity to switch these two up. The Mars in the mid lane is actually a pretty solid hero as well. You can force the Sand King out of the sandstorm, which is actually quite nice, you know. So I don't think that No Sorry are gonna have troubles laning either of these heroes anywhere, but at least, you know, if the enemies get something that you're like, I'd rather not lane against it, something like an Ursa maybe might be a problem for the Mars, the Pango actually lanes quite nicely against it.
And now that sort of callback to the Bloodseeker ban back in Phase 2 sort of makes a lot more sense. They were keeping that Pango as an option, at least, in the back of their mind. So they go for it. The Bloodseekers are removed, so you don't have that sort of easy potential counterplay. And now if you're Cybercats, well, I mean, Harry, what exactly are they looking for here? Because you need damage. You absolutely need damage, but you also need someone who's going to not instantly die if he gets hit by any of these stuns.
Yesterday, I saw a Lifestealer being picked up from Hydra, and they went for a Maelstrom first item. And the Lifestealer would actually be okay. Other than the Bane, they don't have much, so they'll go for the PL. That's why I like this Pango pick, because it's actually a preparation for the PL as well. It wouldn't surprise me if Manic picks up a Maelstrom in this game in particular, because PL can be a problem later on. But again, as you mentioned, you need damage, so we have to assume that Cybercats are thinking to engage this PL in fights early on, as soon as he has the defusal. That's a good timing to fight, because at that point in the game, the enemies might not have enough in their tank to kill you. But if the Pango gets the Maelstrom, even the defusal blade can be problematic for the PL. Just losing the mana can kill you. The problem is, you want to get involved early, but there is one part of the game where the Mars crushes the PL, and that is the laning phase. Later on in the game, the PL is just 10 times stronger, but the early game, the laning phase, Mars is just so much more powerful than the PL. So because of that, I have to go for no. Sorry, I just don't see this PL being a factor early on, and then everything is gonna kind of be relying on the Sand King Hoodwink. So you see a Sand King missing off the map, and suddenly you just move back, you reset, and as you see him on the map, you can do whatever you want.
Feels like a scenario where Cybercats will need to rely on the rest of their lineup to get them into that sort of late game scenario for the PL, but if you're no sorry, you have the exact lineup that you need to push that tempo and not allow the game to reach that point in the first place.
Yep, and even if it does, Pango can be considered one of the PL counters. You know, it's not the easiest hero to play into if you're a PL, especially if you would go for something like a Maelstrom Ags. And given that it's a mid Pango, it is not out of the question. But as you mentioned, I do expect No Sorry to be going for the tempo pace here, just to get multiple kills. You have so many setups for the arrow. Underlord, let's say he wants to defend the mid lane tower, you get slept, you get an arrow, you die. You actually have a Mars, which is good at diving towers, which is something that you need against the Underlord if you want to push down the mid tower. And as soon as that mid tower falls, it is a problem. So I think it's gonna be a big deal here fighting around it. If it's not, if Cybercats leave it be, it's gonna be all hell breaking loose around the map pretty much like 10-15 minutes in.
Sorry, opted for the sort of wraparound play there with that opening smoke. Didn't actually run into anybody, but they do get the vision down on the high ground cliff, so they can get some vision on the middle lane. They'll see if there's any sort of rotation in from the supports, and honestly, if they hold this position, there is still technically a chance that Cybercats come to them to try and contest the rune, but it looks like they are starting to spread out a little bit more. Nobody's really going to walk into that trap just yet. Will they contest for this? That is a long arrow. Smarter play from Cybercats there to probably back off of it with the arrow coming in.
You were hoping for that one to hit.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. You could hear it in your voice. So we have a guy here hungry for blood. Only natural, since we are gamers, and you know games do make you aggressive. So you're bound to want some kills here happening on the lanes. Though still, I really want to see how this laning phase is gonna go for Cybercats. In my mind, they're only gonna go somewhat even in the mid lane. The side lanes are gonna be disastrous for them. I'm not sure how the Underlord will do, and we can see he started off with the Atrophy Aura, which is actually quite solid against the CK. We already mentioned his high damage.
Bezor getting a little pushed back into the trees there, but trying to just sort of keep his distance at this point, and that is always going to be sort of the thing for Dream, right? The CK can go in, do some serious damage. He is going to be a threat for kills, but he's always going to have to sort of balance how far are you willing to go, how far away from the lane are you willing to chase, and how much time are you taking compared to the farm you would have gotten if you just didn't chase and stayed in the lane to sort of last hit.
And I like what Cybercats did. They pushed in the lane a bit. The Hoodwink is trying to dodge the Bane. He's just trying to harass the CK. So Black Archangel to, if he wants to dish out some damage, he's gonna be having to fight 2 of the enemy heroes, because the Underlord is always gonna be covered by the Hoodwink, and the Hoodwink doesn't want to trade with the Bane, understandably so. A very squishy hero against a very fat hero. You're always gonna lose that trade. So I like how Cybercats are playing this, but as CK gets more and more levels, it's gonna be tougher and tougher to do so. So I'm really curious how this lane is gonna pan out. Seems like actually for now Cybercats have good control of what's going on here.
Yeah, I mean, they're keeping the lane where they want it. Black Archangel's harassment is manageable, and as long as DK Focus continues to last it well, I'm gonna sort of like the early start to this lane. But now this is where the Bane is trying to push his way forward. Not gonna be able to do too much damage. Up in that top lane, Shigetsu's playing it a little bit dangerously, but he's falling back to the tower. Should be okay for the time being, but he's always got to be careful against this sort of laning duo in particular. One false step and you get sort of taken out. As Yond leaps behind the tower and takes out a courier.
That was actually a random arrow that he hit on Shigetsu mid lane. Pango. Ooh, man.
Like, able to get away, but this is actually kind of the exact scenario that your Sand King always loves, right? You are a Sand King laning against a melee hero, so Caustic Finale can do some work. If you get too low, he's got 2 points up in the Burrow Strike, not even bothering Sandstorm right now, but it gives him that little bit of extra damage to threaten onto the Pangolier.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be starting to level it up right now, because there might be some stacks coming out from him. With level 3 Sandstorm, you can pretty much farm the Ancients, so it is quite common though. Kmart, I don't know how much you have been following the Division 2 in the Eastern Europe. Before that, we're gonna see Black Archangel in trouble, though. He will survive, so I can go and continue with my rant. So in Eastern Europe Division 2, in the previous DPC, there was like 80% of the games that were 0-0, maybe 1 or 2 kills up until minute 7-8, and then you would start seeing a lot of action. So today, at least in the first 2 games, that wasn't the case. We saw a lot of kills even before that time, but finally these teams have started playing the Eastern European Division 2 meta, and that is just a ceasefire before 4 minutes. So do you like this type of Dota? Does it excite you when they're just farming creeps?
Exciting, no, but I certainly understand it, right? It's a little bit of a similar thing sort of comes in the way of NA Dota. They're so sort of lane oriented in that region as well that you just get sort of that pause. However, you know, it's all about patience, right, Harry? Because a lot of the time they're just going to be farming up, but that means those items will come out a little bit faster. So when you hit maybe, 15, 20 minutes, those fights become maybe a little bit more exciting because you have a little bit more strength on everybody. True. But no, it is a little boring at the start.
And because everyone is frustrated as well, because they want action, You get sleepy. I was always a big fan of the Chinese region, in a sense. How can they stay focused when they're just farming for 15 minutes? Like, I don't know. They play teamfights so well, and they're farming for the entirety of the game. It's hard for me when the game goes passive, and then after 10 minutes starting breakout for the first 2 fights, I know that I'm gonna be missing out on some spells.
You're still kind of in that laid-back mode when the fight breaks out. As speaking of potential fight, Dream gonna be okay. Getting a little bit threatened there. Of course, he was kind of far forward, as there is your first blood up top. Last hero in Yond finally able to sort of make that connection, and actually kind of interesting for Yond. He goes in a slightly different direction than what we were expecting. Only the 1 point in the arrow, 2 points in the Starstorm. So I thought maybe he would max that arrow to try and sort of take advantage of that combo, but the Starstorm gives him the damage to break through for the kill. As Manic, rotated down. Rolling Thunder's in. They would love to get the DK Focus kill. Dream, though, went for Fezor first, but his teammates had it handled. They get the kills and, well, had to wait a little while, but we're starting to see the action now. 3 straight kills for Nosari, and a little bit of early momentum for them in terms of those rotations.
As you were mentioning, almost always you would tend to see a level 2 Sacred Arrow over the Starstorm, but especially on level 3, the Starstorm level 1 pretty much does nothing, and the level 2 arrow is just a big damage amp for you, from 60 to 150 damage. Of course, if it's a long range arrow, it's not going to matter as much in terms of percentages, but if it's a point blank one, it's definitely going to make a hell of a difference. But yep, he decided to go for the Starstorm. Seems like he wants to be dealing with those PL illusions early on, which is okay. Though I wouldn't want it to see at least a level 2 in the arrow, and then if arrows start hitting more and more, then you can decide to go for the more points of it. Leaving Starstorm on level 2 would be really weird.
They're trying to make a move onto H2O here. Gone. Fakes out the arrow the first time, hits it the second, and should simply be able to finish that off as last hero connects with the spear. So, well, kind of just game plan right now, ignore Shigetsu. They go right past him, dive past the tier 1. Now the PL is going to try to get involved, but Manic is here, so this is not really a fight that he wants, and by the time he realizes it, I mean, it's too late. The Pang goes in, and they've got the kill. Last hero picks it up for the double, and man, this Pango has really kind of done everything they need him to do right now in terms of rotating out of lane. He was never able to really do much to Igor mid, but he doesn't have to now.
This is the thing when you have a hero like a Sand King in the mid lane, you can't really pressure the tower. Even if you push in the lane, your hero in itself doesn't really do any damage to the tower, so and you want to farm. But still, it might be 5-0 right now, but it's not that big of a deal for No Sorry, especially if this top tower doesn't fall. It seems for now that it will be let go, but Sand King will be getting his blink quite fast. So finally, we're going to be seeing Cybercats going for those rotations, and while he's going for rotations, the first ones, the Hoodwink will be getting level 6. Once there's a Hoodwink level 6, you won't be needing the Epicenter any longer to get kills. So Cybercats, despite 0 kills, they might not feel the best at this moment. They're in an okay spot. The only problem, of course, PL. We talked about him maybe needing to get involved. Well, now after that kind of a start, I think Cybercats are gonna be relying a lot on the Sand King and the Hoodwink Sharpshooter, and it's a good question that we don't know the answer to just yet. Is it gonna be enough? It might be, but with just one Bane sleep and one gank not going well, it could be disastrous for Cybercats.
But yeah, I do like that point you make. If you're Cybercats, okay, the laning stage did not go fantastically, giving up 5 kills, but they don't need to overreact. They still know what their power spike is going to sort of look like and when it's going to come. So the Blink Dagger's finished. We'll see exactly where Igor goes here. Yeah, just going to TP back mid at the moment, but he did pick up a smoke on his way out, so Infezor could look to sort of make a move here. Oh, God. Always love this. My favorite part of the Sand King play, the massive fake outs on the Epicenter. This one's not going to be faked out, though. They are going to go looking for the Pango kill. Can he get away? He tried, but he was still taking too much damage. Igor gets the kill. TP in from Dream is a little too late, and well, that's exactly the play that you sort of pointed out, although they didn't actually need the Sharpshooter there. But with the Sharpshooter available, they could go for that same initiation again.
Yeah, they're gonna go for more for sure. The big thing is also the CK TP to the top lane. But I think what you want to do now, if you're a Cybercats, wait to see where the Pango will TP, and either smoke towards him and kill him, or smoke away from him. You know, if you're going towards him, you have to kill the Pango himself. Okay, him being in the mid lane means that you probably want to go somewhere else. Yeah, just go towards the bottom lane. So if he was on the side lanes, you can actually make a decision to go for him. So let's see now if they catch these guys on the bottom lane.
DK Focus is not easy to kill there, as he was able to absorb all of that damage, but they are still looking for a move. Manic had the opening salvo there with the swashbuckle, but Shigetsu was able to jump away, and now, all of a sudden, yeah, you're in no man's land. You're too far forward here on Manic. He's going to get hit up by the dual stuns into the Sharpshooter, and that is perfect. You get the Underlord out there as the bait. DK Focus lives. You find the kill onto the Pango again, and you see that momentum starting to shift back towards Cybercats.
The reason why the game is so slow for No Sorry is because last hero went for 2 bracers, Soul Ring, and the Phase Boots. So with No Sorry seeing that, I think they should be playing around this Mars and using his innate tankiness to control a big chunk of the map. But because they were doing so well in kills, they probably thought they could get away with what they were doing, with just playing the supports and the Pango. But you need to bring 2 cores together. You're just not gonna have the damage. Pango dies, and suddenly your supports are completely useless useless in a fight, because even if they connect their spells perfectly, you're not going to be able to finish people off. So with that being said, this is great for Cybercats because this is giving so much space for the PL to farm. We'll see if he uses the Fusel Blade timing. If not, he's going to need a Manta plus one more item, but it's not a problem. The mid lane tower of Cybercats is not being touched, and what you want to do now from Cybercats is kind of have controlled aggression towards the bottom lane and always kind of come back to the mid lane, because you don't want this tower to take any damage. It's going to allow the PL to farm long and ultimately in like 20 minutes win you the game.
Yeah, they have just not been able to do much to the Phantom Lancer at this point, if you're no sorry, but... Okay, Manic, where is this going? Nowhere, really, is the answer to that question. That's an interesting ult for sure, but I think they saw that as well as he passed by the creep wave, so they should know, yeah, if there is no Rolling Thunder, we can do whatever we want. They're going to make their move. They're looking for last hero up in the top lane. He's going to try to TP out. The Sharpshooter drops him low, but... little bit of a mixed signal there between the two members. One of them goes for Black Archangel, the other goes for the Mars. If they'd have just picked one target, they almost certainly would have found the kill, although there is Bushwhack, so Bane really should not get away here. They see him. Yeah, Ezra's in position.
He's dead.
But he got his teammate out.
Though, when you kind of said mixed signals, I was kind of thinking you were thinking about last hero TPing out of a fight and then saying "fight me." Like that's that's not really what you know. His words didn't really go hand in hand with his actions. But okay, we're gonna assume that he just wants to fight on another place, and now he's close to the Blink Dagger. So that move from Cybercats, I actually wanted them to go and fight on the bottom lane, and now they're gonna do so. But Underlord,
still not dead. H2O is going to heal him up, and now they go on to Dream. Oh, the CK gets sort of caught in the corner there, but he's not going down without a fight. He'll turn around with the help of his teammates. They do find DK Fogus, so... first attempt falls a little bit short, but they're able to bait him back in, and despite getting a little bit of extra health from the Pugna, their Underlord does eventually fall. That is a bummer for Cybercats, but we go back to Shigetsu, who is still farming, so... you're going to be at least always feeling somewhat okay, so long as the PL is not in danger. On the other side, though, that Blink Dagger is finally available on last hero, so this may be where No Sorry sort of ramp up the aggression.
The big reason I didn't like the smoke towards the top lane from the side of Cybercats is... No Sorry don't want to play on the bottom lane. Even you would go for the epicenter, even if you would kill a support. No Sorry has two plays. One is to TP and defend the tower, which means you just move and No Sorry are stranded on the bottom lane where they don't want to be, or they let that support die and you get a tower. On the top lane, the most you could do is kill the Mars before the blink, which is good. You take away his timing, but you don't take much away from the map. And you can see that No Sorry, they don't want to be on the bottom lane, they want to be on the mid lane. And if they kill the Sand King right now, it's going to be disastrous. Okay, Cybercats are bringing in more heroes to help.
Ezra TP's in. DK Focus dropped down the Fiend's Gate, so... numbers are here. No Sorry. And look at them. They're still just sort of sitting and waiting. They want to see someone come up to defend that tower, but... Cybercats are playing this so sort of safely. They're all hanging out here on the sort of south side, and I believe... yeah, I think the ward spotted that smoke, so... Cybercats are not going to be quite as sneaky as they think they are. They did de-ward that ward, though, so now everybody knows what was going down, but... this is a heavy commitment. If you're Cybercats, you've got 4 heroes here. Of course, the one hero who's not there is the one who's just going to continue to farm. And Shigetsu has finished off the Yasha, and... I don't know, I mean, if he's needed, he has his TP as well, but I'm not even sure a fight's going to break out here. No Sorry really aren't willing to pull the trigger right now.
Yeah, that was a good read from Cybercats, understanding that they were most likely under vision when they saw No Sorry coming from the top side of the map. They were super afraid of what could come their way. So you can see now they understand we can't let this mid lane tower go. So since they were playing so much on the bottom lane, now they're gonna be around the mid lane, and they have 2 wards pretty much perfectly covering all the angles. Oh, Underlord though, that's the angle he wasn't expecting.
I think he thought he was safe against Just Dream, but didn't know that the Bane was close by, as Igor's going to go in. Epicenter's doing some nice damage. They've taken down one. They need to get the CK, but they can't do it. Last hero's in, dropping down the arena into the spear stun. Dream, though, went back in for that fight and ends up getting punished for it, so they do lose him. They need to be able to clean up this fight, and it's just not happening. Black Archangel's going to get taken down. Now, Last Hero didn't clear out when he had the chance, so he's going to get run down here as well. All of a sudden, Manic is the sole survivor there. That looked like a fight that was sort of going their way, but they really just don't play around the arena well here. I think that kind of did them in.
Yeah, they don't like that spell. Though I think the second that the CK died was the second that their damage started becoming a problem. He used his damage to kill the Underlord, and other than that, the CK just didn't do much in the fight. And now the mid lane tower is defended, and Cybercats, they'll claim the mid lane of their own. Pretty much Cybercats are not that good at hunting. You know, the Sand King and the Hoodwink, they can go for a kill here and there, but they're much better at kind of keeping the status quo. With the Underlord just in the back. They did go for this ATOS, so they can go for some hunts, but ideally they just want the PL to get those items. And I really like that Shigetsu, he was saving his TP all the time there. He could have gone for a TP on top lane, just getting a bit more farm, but he understood, I need to stay on the bottom lane and be ready to defend mid. Though, mid again?
Sorry, not giving up on this. They're going to try to push in a second time, but the creep wave is kind of MIA at the moment. Got sort of wiped out initially, and they're just not able to make it happen. And this is where things are going to get a little bit more awkward for them. The longer that tier 1 stays alive, the more resources and attempts No Sorry have to make at it, the more and more time you're buying for the cores on the Cybercat side. Is now they're actually going to try to get on the offensive. They're going in onto the Pangolier. Manic is not in a great spot here. He's just getting stunned up continuously. There's the Sharpshooter, and that is enough extra damage to help Igor get the kill. And at this point, No Sorry really have to be careful about how they proceed here, because this net worth is starting to slip away from them as Igor able to jump in. Last hero got hit. Do they have any detection, though? Well, they do now, but that's a little bit too late as Last hero gets away, and DK Fogus Fiend's Grip up to the fight. He'll simply Fiend's Grip himself away, and or Fiend's Gate, excuse me. Wow. Getting himself out of there, but that still works fine. If you're Cybercats, you found that kill mid onto the Pangolier, you're able to avoid losing anyone in that north side fight, and all the while the PL is farming and pushing.
Yeah, once the PL has the heart, he's gonna be ready to fight, especially if he continues with this pace of farming. So No Sorry, they saw that going to the mid lane is not gonna work, so they tried to go towards the top lane. The problem is that their Pango died. If the Pango hadn't died at the there in the mid lane, it would have been much easier for No Sorry to make that happen. Though here, it is a solid move to go towards the top lane, but I think No Sorry should be going towards the bottom lane. If you go towards the bottom lane with the smoke, you force some TPs there from the side of for the side of Cybercats. If Cybercats are on the bottom part of the map and No Sorry are coming towards the mid from the bottom side of the map, if they get that position, they will be able to get the tower down. Oh, mid lane.
Okay. Jump onto Focus. And they still don't get this kill all that quickly, and they may not get it at all. Even with the Fiend's Grip, he's still not dead. He's getting healed up continuously. Dream finally will put an end to that, finding the kill, but now Igor, actually, he got caught. And losing the Underlord is something I think you could have recovered from, but Igor getting stunned up there multiple times really just takes the wind out of Cybercat's sails. There's really not much of a fight left, so No Sorry, what was it, third or fourth time around, but they do finally get the fight and the tower that they've wanted for so long, and they're going to try and push into the pit off the back of this as well.
This was a good time to go for that one because they had the newly bought BKB on Dream. And when you look at Cybercats, they really don't do much against BKBs until the PL is ready. And now, with this Roche attempt, they're gonna pull Cybercats into a fight. Without the Sand King, they can't do it.
Shigetsu was in there for about a half a second before realizing he really can't afford to go for that engagement. He is going to try and re-engage now, though, in Dream. He went into this without his BKB. He is just going to get pulled back, and well, okay, it's a bit of a bait play that works in their favor, but what's going on here to the north? You've got Manic and Yond who are trying to sort of salvage something, but at this point, Manic, he's just going to get rooted up. He's taken down. Shigetsu gets the double kill. Cybercats, they win the fight, and they take control of the pit. No arena for 5. Once that's up, maybe Last Hero can try to contest this, but I don't know if he could really do it by himself.
Buyback from the Pango. They're not giving this up.
There's going to be the arena. The spear was dodged, but it stops the Roche attempt. That's the important factor here. I say stop. It delayed it for a few seconds, because without the rest of No Sorry coming in, there's nothing kind of left to do. They use the arena, but now Manic, does he make his move? Rolls into the pit. Igor, though, sees opportunities for the kills. He's able to take down Black Archangel. Last hero dropping low as well. Shigetsu's going to try and track him down for the kill. They do manage to get it, but in the pit, Shigetsu got the Aegis. Manic is going to be able to get the kill, but they don't get that second life. Now they'll lose their Pangolier. I mean, Harry, you have to try that play if you're Manic, right? It doesn't work out for him then.
Yeah, at that point, you go for it. We can't blame him for sure. The big one I'm looking at here, if there's someone who made the mistake from No Sorry, is Dream. Running into the high ground like that without the BKB, knowing you're playing against the PL who has a Diffusal Blade, you just can't do it. And that is the main reason when the CK dies, the damage of No Sorry dies. So Dream has to be very careful how he engages the fights. You can't really play that aggressive like a standard strength hero. You have to be more like a PA, like a Riki. You have to choose your battles and go in them when you actually can, and then pop the BKB once you see the Pit of Malice. So the thing is, Cybercats, they were running into a fight. They understood they couldn't do it, but they have the Underlord, so they can just put a Pit of Malice into the choke point and get themselves out. Exactly what they did there before the Roche happened. But No Sorry, they don't have a Pit of Malice. They don't have an Underlord. And once you are in without your BKB on Dream, you're just dead. So that was a big mistake coming out from him. The Roche got lost because of him. And now the PL is coming to that timing. They defended the mid lane tower for a relatively long time on Cybercats. Shigetsu could farm. He TP'd there once he fought. He won the fight, he got even more farm. Now, he got the Aegis, which means he will definitely have the heart before another death. But top lane?
Oh, nice Nightmare, okay. Sharpshooter won't hit, Dream's able to walk away, and... oh, the reinforcements are close enough. The problem is, if you're Cybercats, that was only 2 heroes top that sort of put an end to that push. So they still have a presence down in the bottom lane. They want to try for something, but last hero, okay, gets in with the arena. There's going to be the spear. The arrow comes in to finish it off, but Igor wants that epicenter, and with the root coming out from DK Focus, they are going to try and turn this fight. Do they have the damage for it, though? They should.
The L is coming.
Yep. Yond, he's not even going to get the TP out. He just gets taken down. Shigetsu. God, he hurts. So they find 2 kills there. Yond and Last Hero both taken down, and... oh, sorry. Just feels like when they try to go on the offensive, things are so rapidly turning against them, so long as Cybercats have really only 1 or 2 heroes in the area. Speaking of which, Manic is in some trouble here. Going to be able to roll himself out for now. He does actually have his TP, so he could just, yeah, he'll just TP now and he'll get himself away. Meanwhile, in the jungle, H2O tracking onto Black Archangel, not going to commit for it though. He'll simply take back the outpost, and Cybercats, I mean, actually their creep wave's too far behind. I was going to say maybe they could push this bottom lane, but they'd be waiting a little too long, I think.
In this situation, No Sorry, given that they've lost their timings, they've lost that potential to crush the game from start to finish that we spoke about at the start. Given that the Pango has the Maelstrom, you have to itemize now for the PL. So the Pango will have to go for an Axe, but I would like the Mirana Yont to go for Aghanim Scepter as well. I'm not the biggest fan of the CK going for an Orchid, but he's probably just trusting his team and being like, I'm gonna jump into the backlines, kill the Pugna, you guys deal with the illusions. Though Mars, none of the items that this hero buys deal well with the illusions. The Bane is not going to help, so we're looking at the Mirana and at the Penguin. With the Mirana going for the Lotus Orb, I just don't think you have enough in the tank to deal with the PL.
Yeah, especially with Shigetsu having that Heart of Tarask online, so... I don't know. It feels like they had a game plan, and Dream is like, or was at the time, like 75% of the way to that Orchid, so he feels it's too late to sort of back away, but... we'll have to wait and see. If he can find that quick and easy kill into the backline, get an immediate silence and find a kill, then I could still see that working, but they need to be able to find those pickoffs. They did get one just then, though. Black Archangel, Nightmare into Fiend's Grip helps them find it, but now the PL's coming over, and it's time to leave. Manic will TP out. Black Archangel should make it home as well, and No Sorry having to resort to the hit-and-run tactics, but at least they're finding occasional kills with those plays.
Mirana bot.
Yep. That one's just as simple as can be for Igor. Channel it out, blink in, get the stun. No chance for the Mirana to get away.
More likely like no Mirana bot, because Igor makes sure that she gets a fast move to the base. Cybercats are in such a commanding position. I'm looking at No Sorry, and I'm thinking, how are you gonna kill this PL? Even with just the heart, I don't see how they kill him, but once he gets the Skadi, he can just continue running in. The strength of the PL comes from the hero overwhelming you. It's not like the hero does a lot of damage. Of course, he can burst down the supports in a couple of seconds just with the Phantom's Rush extra damage, but you know, you want a long drawn out fight, and I think Cybercats, the rest of their heroes, they just need to itemize for survival. And considering Sand King has a BKB, Underlord has a BKB, Hoodwink and the Pugna are very hard to catch, and you might not even need your supports now to win the fight, because if the fight is more than 10 seconds, the PL will eventually do enough damage to bring everyone down. So no sorry, I'm not really sure how you approach this. If you would start going for the PL and he gets the doppelganger off, which is very likely to happen, he gets out, he heals up, back up to full. The Sand King epicenter will crush you. The Underlord will keep you in bay, and then the re-engage will be massive. If you don't go for the PL, the PL will kill all of you. So it's a very tough position right now for No Sorry. That's why I said you have to itemize against the PL, and Pango having the Ags, it helps, but the PL is just way too far ahead. So I'm not really sure. In my mind, if No Sorry won a fight, it's probably gonna be a attempt like against the Weaver in game number 1. You have to kill the PL from under to 0. So that's pretty much during the Chaos Bolt and maybe a follow-up stun from the Rolling Thunder. But I'm looking at No Sorry, they don't have that kind of damage.
Okay. Attempt onto the Underlord here, but that's an Underlord who does have a BKB, but the Fiend's Grip is going to go down, so they should be able to lock him down long enough for the kill. The problem is, now they've used a lot of their lockdown. Shigetsu's going to make his move. Igor coming in as well. There's going to be the epicenter channeling through. A lot of damage being dealt. Dream dropping low. They need to keep him alive. He's actually holding his ground for the time being, as he'll take down Fezor. But can they get him away? Shigetsu is on the hunt. The BKB is going to start wearing off, so Dream should be run down. Defensive Nightmare buys time, but...
He's still alive.
Oh, the disarm. They got the disarm into the Nightmare, into an arrow. Okay. Dream TP's home, and that's a fantastic fight for them. I didn't think they were going to be able to sort of pull that one off, but that's a 3-for-1. Dream escapes by the skin of his teeth, but he lives, and that's all that matters.
Man, they get the kill there on the Underlord. The PL is just a half a second too late. The Sand King went in with a stun, and the PL wasn't there immediately. If he was there, Dream dies, and probably with the chase they get more kills. But with Dream surviving, everyone gets out. So that's something that shouldn't have happened. No Sorry are gonna be super happy about it. Again, though, I don't like the Mirana itemization. I would like to see an Axe. The Lotus Orb, it is nice, but it's not perfect, you know. Even if you can remove the Pit of Malice, there's gonna still be an Atos, or if you remove the Atos, there's still gonna be a Pit of Malice. A lot of things, and the only thing that you can effectively return is the Burrow Strike. Guessing maybe this is the idea. You put the Lotus Orb onto one of your heroes, and you jump the PL, so you have that extra one. It's gonna be harder for the Sand King to go in with the stun. Maybe that's the play. I don't know, but I just don't like this item overall. Still, smoke from Cybercats.
Get in onto Yond. Haven't actually finished him off, though, as Igor, unfortunately, was a little too far forward. Teammates weren't able to close the gap in time, so might be a bit of a missed opportunity there. In the meantime, No Sorry kind of wrapping around here, and they will spot out that Pugna. Oof. Not a fun place to be if you're H2Os. He gets blown up immediately, but of all the heroes that Cybercats have, really, the Pugna's probably the one you can afford to lose and not care too much about.
Still will add up, but the PL's farm will add up as well. Though the more that the game goes on, the more the Pango will be an issue for the PL. So No Sorry now. They know that one hero is down, so they want to go for more. This is not a good position for them, though, especially with the Pango not being there.
False alarm. Everyone's just going to sort of back themselves away. And yeah, as you said, without the Pango, this isn't really a fight that I think they want right now, but he has returned. Manic is in position. He's going to go for the Rolling Thunder, and they'll look to push their way in. Who can they get onto, though? They've caught out Igor. They're going to drop him immediately. And now...
That's a big target.
Shigetsu stunned up by the arrow. His supports are getting run away from him. DK Focus gets taken down. The Fiend's Grip's there. They get the silence onto him as well. The Phantom Lancer is not going to be able to get himself away. They did a little bit more damage, and they got it. And oh, they cut out the Pugna as well. H2O, how you doing? That's not a spot that you want to be in, trying to save the PL. Instead, he gets taken down, and oh no, sorry, they're starting to turn it. Big fight their way. Fezor, he's got a blink. Okay, well, he doesn't have a blink anymore. Now he's in some trouble. There's going to be the Yule Scepter to lock him down. Arrow will not connect. Yond is a little off on the timing. But Fezor is almost certainly still going to die here, and while they're chasing after him, the rest of the team went after Roshan.
So, very nicely done by No Sorry, though. I expected Cybercats to run away as soon as they kind of got spooked there by the side of No Sorry. No Sorry knew that their Pango wasn't there, so they needed to wait for him. They knew that the enemies were inside of their triangle with the smoke popping, and they weren't coming from the side of their base. They were coming from the other side. Triangle is actually the easiest area to defend. But if you are on the enemy part of the map, you're coming from that side. The Pango is coming from the other one. You actually collapse from multiple sides, and then that bit of malice, those choke points that Cybercats want to play, and they're not so easy to play at all. And No Sorry, they knew which target was important. Dream dealt with the Sand King during his BKB duration, and then Igor, he couldn't get the second round of spells off. For Sand King, it's very important to get the second round of spells off, to go in with the stun, go out, and then kind of catch people with a big epicenter, especially if it's the enemies initiating. But after he went down and the BKBs got used early on in the fights, there was no time for the PL to kind of overwhelm the fight. But still, I have to give props to Black Archangel with finding the PL, and also to the Mirana, who, you know, Yond might have missed that arrow on the Yules, but he hit an arrow in the fight onto Shigetsu, the real one, and that is one of the reasons why the PL got locked down from a 100 to 0. And now, suddenly, No Sorry are in an AK gold lead, and Cybercats, they need to go for a smoke, not only for a fight, but to get some map control, because they're uncertain where their enemies are playing.
Don't have that vision at the moment. Meanwhile, for that CK, you know, we were sort of iffy on the Orchid buildup. Now it's a Bloodthorn, so now you have the silence and the damage. The Dream hits so hard. He's got the Mind Breaker here as well, so whoever he goes in on first is going to struggle to survive. And Cybercats, well, you still have a PL, still the top net worth hero in the game by a pretty sizable margin, but now the concern is Shigetsu the entire team, like he was on some of those previous games with the Weaver? Because if that's the case, No Sorry have proven they do still have the means of taking this Phantom Lancer, stunning him up long enough to actually kill him off.
But Cybercats also have the means to play this one. They just need to survive on the Sand King for a bit longer in the fight. Ooh, that's gonna be a good engagement.
Gonna be able to jump in, looking for the backline. DK Focus was able to pop the BKB though, so he's not dead yet, but he's pulled back in by the Reality Rift. Dream is looking to take him down, hasn't actually done so yet, while Manic, well, had to roll to avoid that epicenter damage, but Black Archangel was unable to do the same. This fight is really drifting. Yeah, they're going a little bit too far out here. They're going to lose that Aegis. The Arena from last hero does actually hit onto Shigetsu, though. The arrow's going to fly through as well, but they need more damage. They haven't finished him off yet. Shigetsu still alive, looking to turn around. He gets disarmed there by the Swashbuckle, but he is still starting to heal up. Manic getting a little bit too far away from his own supports. He's going to try to Swashbuckle himself away, but Igor comes in, hits him with that stun. It wasn't enough, though. Igor goes down. Shigetsu, though, will finish the kill. So they did get the Pangolier. An immediate buyback coming out from the Pango, though, as Shigetsu continues to push forward. Getting on to last hero. The Bulwark not going to keep him alive long enough. Shigetsu gets the kill, and back over in the middle lane, Dream was quite literally fighting alone. All of his teammates were away from that engagement. Cybercats took him down. That is a fight lost with the Aegis, Harry. No Sorry, is spreading too thin on that fight, overextending.
Yeah, they overextended, and the reason they did so, Underlord, I don't know how the arrow didn't connect on him. They get the stun on the Underlord, there's a decrep. The arrow is flying out, and he doesn't connect because he gets the BKB off. It was half a second before the Pango roll, pretty much 0.1 second before the arrow hits. He gets the BKB off, he survives, and then No Sorry, they go way too deep. It allows the PL to overwhelm the fight. As I mentioned, if the fight is long, then no sorry, they're definitely gonna be sorry. And we saw how the Pango tried to survive there for a long time. He is a nuisance for the PL, but once he falls, it's just a free reign for the PL. So without the disarms, there's not much they can do. And no sorry, they're trying to go for a smoke outside on the map, hoping that no sorry aren't gonna knock on their doors, because if they do, you know, you're still gonna have to go back into your base.
And Cybercats will not really commit for the high ground. They send a couple of illusions in, but not much more than that. Instead, they're actually smoking up, looking to see if maybe they can catch one of the no sorry heroes here. Black Archangel would be nice. Manic would certainly be a lot more valuable, but yeah, Pango not going to get caught. He'll TP away. The Bane should make it out here as well, actually, so Spidey senses were tingling there for no sorry. They recognized if they're not pushing top, probably coming after us, so they're able to TP away and buy themselves some time. Everyone's back up, and they can regroup for another fight, but they really cannot afford to get spread out that far like they were in the previous engagement.
This is why you usually want to poke the high ground, just so that the enemies has to show themselves. But no, sorry, that was a beautiful move. They assumed that the enemies are going to be afraid of coming high ground, given that their heroes are going to be coming back. Spear back on Shigetsu could kill him. So they go towards the bottom lane. With that, they move away Cybercats from their own triangle. You know, if you control the triangle, you control 3 lanes. You control 2 lanes, and then the only play no sorry can make is go towards the bottom lane. Running into the triangle from one side is probably going to be detrimental to their health. So really nice play. With that, they opened up the map for themselves and actually controlled the triangle. And now Cybercats are actually going to think twice if they themselves are going to be staying on the bottom lane, because that area it's much wider, and with that, much harder to control.
See some of the benefits utility-wise of the DK Focus Underlord. They decide they don't want to be bought anymore, so a Fiend's Gate basically allows them to all pull back and save their TP scrolls. So they're sort of spread things out a little bit, and I don't know, Harry, at this point, if you're Cybercats, are you just maybe waiting to see if this is a fast Roche? Because they're not looking to be too aggressive anymore after pulling out of that south side jungle.
You don't have to, though. I wouldn't want them to be playing in the top big jungle. As I said, the big jungles are actually a big territory, so you can be attacked from multiple angles. Of course, they're gonna go for these choke point fights. This is the type of game that comes down to team fights. Of course, the way that the team fight is gonna start is a big deal, but there is a lot of spells and a lot of targets that you can go for. If the Sand King dies first in a fight, it's gonna be hard for Cybercats to play. If the Pango dies first in a fight for no sorry, it's going to be almost impossible for them to play. So it's a bit harder for no sorry overall. So that's why maybe Cybercats are playing the region they don't have to at this point, especially because the Roche is not up just yet. I would assume that they would want to play another part of the map right now, maybe even go for a smoke just before the Roche spawns, and there it is.
Smoke up. There's a pause out from the no sorry side. Those are dealing with some lag. They've had couple of issues in this series with lag both in game and their team comms, so none of those previous pauses really took more than 20-30 seconds at the most. So should be able to get this going again pretty quickly, and we'll see where Cybercats will push with this smoke play, because pretty much the entire opposing team is down in that south side jungle.
You are okay with going towards the south side. The thing is that no sorry are a little bit too far away. Ideally, you would like to catch them around the outpost. That area is pretty solid to fight, especially if you're the ones that are initiating first. You go in with the Sand King stun and with the sharpshooter plus a few hits from the PL. Someone is gonna die immediately, and then the fight starts off with no sorry just having to run away. But see where no sorry are. Usually, you don't get there with the smoke fast enough. This ward now here on the hill, the Tinker ward, might help them if no sorry think like, okay, we can hide in the trees or something like that. But I'm pretty sure if no sorry see no one showing on the map in the mid lane and on the top lane, that they're gonna be mass TPing out of here just in time.
Let's see. Okay. Sides look like they're ready to resume, so we are back into it and get back to the smoke play. Cybercats see where they go. Moving to the west right now. It's not really going to get them into a fight. They could drop down some nice vision, though, in this area, but... Say that, actually. Do they have... They don't really have any wards with them. There's one sentry up on H2O, and that's kind of it. So, well, this rotation won't quite find what they were looking for. However, 5 seconds away from a potential Roche respawn, so keep an eye on the pit, see if the timing sort of favors Cybercats here. Not quite. 70 seconds added to the timer.
It's not gonna be the fastest Roche, but this Roche is gonna be super important for both teams. So buybacks are gonna make a huge difference. But Cybercats, I think they should be quite okay if they fight around the pit, no matter what kind of initiation they have. You have the Fiend's Gate, and if you farm buybacks, you can get all of your heroes back, whereas no, sorry, they don't have any towers close enough. They're not going to be able to overtake the outpost, and even the Sand King is pushing in the bottom lane so that he forces no, sorry to react. Tactically, it's much easier to play the Roche area as the dire side now, and in the later portions of the game, and the Cybercats, they're doing everything right at this point.
Well, at the moment, as no sorry are going to go for the smoke play, full 5-man. Crossing the river here. Let's see what they can find. The problem is, with complete control of this hill, Cybercats don't have to do anything. If they just hold their ground, no sorry have to come to them, and their smoke will obviously pop.
Good angle.
In advance. Nice play, Fezor. I mean, he's just standing there, but pops the smoke. They know that their opponents have to be nearby, and what do Cybercats do with that information? They're kind of pushing their way forward here, so looking to see if no sorry maybe broke up and got a little too far away from each other as they fell back, but it's not the case. But now is back up. Aegis Cheese and a Refresher Shard all available, and Cybercats have control of the area.
I'd really like if DK Focus would farm these 50 gold for a buyback. If he has the buyback, I think Cybercats can't lose the fight. Like, or it's extremely hard. There needs to be a lot of mess ups or no sorry just to crush the last hero. I actually thought he was gonna run in there.
Yeah, he's got a Refresher Orb, so could have popped the sort of double arena, double sphere play. Instead, they sort of back off, but Shigetsu still hitting. But look at this to the north. Gonna try for a bit of a wrap around. That arrow doesn't connect, but it does give them maybe a little bit of vision. Pinging out H2O. They would love to take that Pugna out first. Roshan, though, down to half HP, so if they want to make a move, they're going to have to do it relatively soon. But Shigetsu actually preempts it. He's going to jump in first. That's the BKB force from last hero. But Shigetsu, I don't know. How far does he want to chase this? Yeah, not that far. Manic, though, did get in on the back line. He's rolling himself away. He actually jumps into the river so he doesn't get caught, but Igor is going to be able to hit him up anyway. They've got him with the Burrow Strike. There's going to be the secondary stun as well that allows the damage to come through, and they've taken down the Pangolier. He has no buyback available. It's still on cooldown for 15 seconds. Cybercats, they're going to rush their way forward. On to Black Arc's Angel. They will finish him off. Shigetsu gets the kill. Catch anyone else? At the moment, it looks like the answer is going to be no, but even if they don't catch any more heroes, they could go right back into the Roche pit and try to finish it off, but no, sorry, don't want to let this happen. Last hero's moving into position. He's going to blink his way forward. Buyback's coming through from those two dead heroes as it comes back off cooldown, but last hero, he went in a little bit too early. Has to refresh to pop his own BKB again. That's enough to get him away, but now he has no HP. Someone's got to heal him up as the Chaos Bolt
Rolling Thunder
got reflected. Manic, though, rolling in. As you say, Rolling Thunder is not really hitting onto as many heroes as they would like, but he does roll directly into the PLs. Now the jump in from last hero on the back line, but he again doesn't have any HP. He's going to get taken down. DK Focus was dropped as well, but Focus still has his buyback. He's immediately going to rejoin the fight. H2O buying back as well while Shigetsu. He's pushing. He's looking for Yawn, trying to track down the Mirana, using all of those leap charges to try and get away. Manic, meanwhile, has to use the roll-up, but if he rolls up, it just means Yawn is vulnerable. Shigetsu continues to chase. They don't get the kill just yet, but now Igor comes in. They're going to go for the Burrow Strike. It was reflected, but that just means Manic gets pulled further back, and they will finish him off. They get the kill onto the Pango. It's a die back for Manic. And at this point, they just say, you know what, screw Roche. We don't need it. We're going to push the high ground right now. And they've got the tier 3 tower. They should get the melee racks at this point. At this point, they could honestly rotate into another lane, and that's exactly what they'll do. Shigetsu makes his way bot, and the defense for No Sorry is not really possible because the CK is trying to split push here, but yeah, this isn't going to work. Dream is going to start TPing back, but by the time he gets back, they've already lost Yawn. That's the Mirana dead. No buyback there, and tier 4s are under attack, but at this point, it's down to Black Archangel and Dream to pull off some sort of miracle.
As soon as they saw that there was no Rolling Thunder, they go in. That's twice they do it. And now let's see what Dream can do. Mirana even used all of her gold for the Aghanim Scepter, and she immediately died. So that gold is pretty much going to be thrown away, and this should be the end of it. I just don't see what No Sorry can do at this point.
Dream's going to give it a go, though. Has no choice. Has to push in. Igor's dropping low. Igor, though, not dead. They'll save his life. He channels the Epi. By the time it gets off, though, Dream's already gone, and that's it. The GG's called. And Cybercats, they pull it off the back of Shigetsu. Once again, just kind of carrying this team. This time it's on the PL, but... And this team really sort of goes as Shigetsu goes, but this time it's enough for them to take the victory.
Well, they put the Mars, the god of war, on his knees there, so Cybercats definitely showing up. I have to apologize to them. I thought that they were in the bottom two teams, but oh yeah, you won against Wayfarers like they were bad. Nope, Cybercats, they prove that they deserve to stay in the DPC Division 2. That's going to be a really good placement for them. And this is actually the first game that Cybercats are playing a classic draft, classic offlane hero, and that they're winning. I liked how they played. I liked how they moved. Obviously, there were some mistakes, but they knew what they needed to do. I don't know if Shigetsu was telling them, okay, guys, this is what I need in this game. It's probably the easiest way to play Dota is when you have a win condition on your side that he is literally telling you which part of the map he wants, which hero does he want to die, which hero does he want to be moved away from him, and when he says go in, there is no question. You just follow him in there. And those last fights around the Roche, it was really nicely set up by the side of Cybercats. First, they farmed their buyback on the Underlord. Then they didn't want to commit onto the Roche. They wanted to bait out spells. The main spell is the Rolling Thunder. First Rolling Thunder comes out. They wait for it. Rolling Thunder gone. Killed the Pango. Pango buys back. Comes in. Again, he was level 25, so he had the Rolling Thunder again, but who cares because Cybercats, again, poke. He goes in with the Rolling Thunder. They kill him. They might have lost some heroes in the process, but we talked about the Fiend's Gate. Immediately, they buy back, come back into the fight, and that is when the game ended. So no sorry. They just didn't have an answer for the PL. Maybe if the Mirana went for that axe earlier on, but I just don't know if it would have made enough of a difference.
Yeah, it was sort of the only play that they had right now, or at that moment, to sort of get that extra AoE damage, and as you said, it may not have been enough, but I do love that from Cybercats. They recognize, listen, there's only one way that we realistically lose this fight, and it's if the Pangolier catches us, so let's just bait Manic in, and the problem is, if you're Manic, you know that they're going to try and bait your spells, but you can't afford not to try. If he doesn't go in, if you don't take a fight on No Sorry, then you might just lose anyway. So it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't situation that the Pangolier got forced into.
And also one other very important thing, usually you would see in later portions of the game that the Radiant side is taking control of the top parts of the map, of the enemy outpost, so then they have better access to the Roche. But with Cybercats keeping that area in their possession, I was actually quite critical of them, but now when I take it back, I understand. They had all of their core items. They didn't need to get anything more of the map, and they wanted that area to be in their possession. If there is no outpost for the side of No Sorry, they don't have any outer towers on the map, they cannot buy back and be back in the fight fast enough. So that is something that Cybercats held in their mind for like 5-6 minutes, even though that area wasn't the ideal for them to play. They could have been caught there. They actually held it quite nicely with with No Sorry having some attempts to go there, and with those being unsuccessful. I think just the positioning that Cybercats kind of put themselves into just secure their win, at least in the last 5 minutes of that game.
Now Cybercats are going to be the squad who move on. They advance to the third round here in the lower bracket. Well, No Sorry, unfortunately, will have their run brought to an end. The good news for all involved was that everyone here is guaranteed at least to stay in that second division, as the squads that dropped down were already determined, I believe, yesterday or the day before. So, No Sorry at least have that sort of safety blanket, but they are now out of this playoff bracket. Cybercats will advance and play in that next round. So, that is going to do it. Series comes to an end. We only had the one best of 3 here on the B stream. So we are going to be shutting things down in just a little bit now. But before we go, Harry Freak, any sort of last closing thoughts here? Maybe not just on these games, but what's coming up ahead.
Well, I'm kind of sad that tomorrow you are gonna be casting the Hydra game. I'm not so sure that Hydra went through though, because there's some problem with Liquipedia right now, so not 100% certain. But I do assume that they will be the first team. So I really want to see Hydra. They're the ones that are stand out. I think with the way that they're playing, just need to be a little bit crisper, and they're actually gonna be a solid contender in the Division 1 as well. Overall, I like that the teams are evolving. I had like bad, or at least they're inconsistent, and they're showing that when they play well, they can play at the higher level. So this is something that I saw from Cybercats. Some of these teams I actually thought like Namiga are gonna crush No Sorry, and No Sorry actually got 2 wins there. So I'm liking that the Division 2, at least in Eastern Europe, it was delayed, but these teams, they needed the competitive part of it, and that is something that I like, that they are thriving on it. You could see that they were screaming, that they were practicing, but there were some innate problems with the teams as it's going on, and it's not even a full league, it's just a playoff. They're getting better and better, so that is something that I like. Though I'm kind of sad I'm not going to be casting Hydra, but I'm definitely going to be watching you and Wingblade do a
Yeah, we will have those 2 series tomorrow. So, well, as we said, we're not 100% sure who's going to be where, because don't quite have an update on some of those other series yet. Definitely going to be checking it basically the second that we're done here. But yeah, I do like sort of the point that you're making. These teams, they did not waste the time. Even though the DPC did get delayed, they were still presumably scrimming, playing what they could. I know there were like 3 or 4 different versions of D2CL that gave them opportunities to play up, so they were not sort of sitting idle and waiting to see what happened. They were still practicing, still improving, and see the fruits of their labor here. So some impressive stuff, and there is more to come. We have 1 more day's worth of matches tomorrow, and actually, I think the A stream is still going here as well. There was a second series being played there, so we will almost certainly shifting you over to the main BTS channel for. But for now, we are done here on Stream B, so we're going to be saying goodbye here, shutting things down in just another minute. So thank you all so much for watching. For myself and for Harry Freak, thank you very much. Enjoy the rest of your day. We are out. We'll see you tomorrow.